Welcome to That's My Entertainment. I'm Caressa Laguerre here with Monica Tenkate from Monica the Medium on, what's the channel?
Freeform.
Yes, Freeform on Mondays, is it?
Monday nights at 10 p.m. 9 Central.
Perfect.
Yes.
Now, for those who might be watching who don't exactly know what you do, would you mind giving a little
Yes.
introduction?
So I'm a spirit medium, which means that I can connect to those who've crossed over. In plain and simple terms, I talk to dead people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, when I was approached to do this interview, I hadn't seen the show yet, and which is shocking because now I tell people I'm going to go interview Monica the Medium. They're like, "Oh yeah, I've heard about her. I've seen her show." And I got to tell you, now I've seen every episode.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I think I have entirely too many questions. So let's jump right in.
Oh my gosh! And they put this together pretty quickly. So you must have binge watched.
I did.
Yeah.
I binge watched.
That's awesome.
Because you're in middle of season 2 right
Yes.
now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have questions ranging from being a medium,
Yes.
the business of being a medium,
Yeah.
and actual questions about the reality show.
Of course.
So let's get into that. All right, so you've been doing this, you've grown a lot in just a few years.
Yes.
When you first started, you're just doing this on your own. Do you look back now and be like, oh, I can't believe I did that? Little mistakes or stumbles, or did you always kind of just fall into it?
I mean, no, looking back, I think the only thing I would change, because I think I've done everything that I was supposed to do and meant to do, and this whole journey has kind of brought me to where I am now, and I'm very happy with getting to do what I love to do, every day, and getting to share it with lots of people. The only thing I would change going back is maybe not initially when there were I went to school at Penn State. They had written, articles in the school paper and things like that. And this was like very first kind of attention outside of my clients and people who knew me and what I do, where there was some negative feedback. And I think if I could do anything, I'd go back and not care what those people said. Because I remember trying to defend myself or respond back, and now I don't even read it or respond to that stuff for the most part. So yeah, that's the only thing I would probably change.
Great. And so you have some medium mentors.
Yes.
Your original one on the East Coast is Maureen. Right?
Maureen Hancock. So she's from Boston. We're actually doing a show together, 2 shows together next month in June. So I'm going to see her in Boston. So
nice.
Boston area, Massachusetts, we're going to do some stuff together. It's always fun to share the stage with another medium in an event. So we have that going on. And so, yeah, she was my mentor. And she's been kind of a mentor to me for years. And then there's James there in Prague, who I met on this season of Monica the Medium, and we both moved out to San Diego within 2 to 3 weeks from each other, not even knowing that until we were both here, and we're like, wow, it's a sign. And so we ended up doing an event together and have one actually coming up with Maureen in LA.
Oh, really?
July 15th. So
wonderful.
Very exciting. Yeah.
And would you say that you learned a specific thing from each of them? What did each of them teach you?
The thing is, I was already in a place with me and my connection to spirit, doing this work every day, where I was already, I already had years under my belt of doing this. So I already knew how the process works and connecting to spirit and giving readings. That all came very naturally to me, and just things just developed and strengthened over time and through experience. But one thing that Maureen and James have helped me with is just getting outside of my comfort zone and trying new things that maybe a couple of years ago I would have said, oh, that's not for me. I don't want to go down that side of things and do that. For example, as you saw in season 1, I worked on a missing persons case with Maureen, and I've done that a little bit, before that and after, but that was something that I was very afraid of, or I don't know if I'm ready, and she kind of helped me with that. And then also just doing the larger events. I remember a couple years ago saying, oh, I never want to do those, it's too overwhelming, it's too intimidating, and now I love it because you get to share your gift with a lot more people, and even if you don't get a reading in that event, just witnessing it live is everybody's so happy. So yeah, they've helped me kind of get used to that and do new things like that. It's
Excellent.
really fun.
Yeah. And I have a question about spirit. When you're giving readings, are they ever providing you with embarrassing information to the person that you're reading, and do you have to edit yourself because you're on TV?
Oh gosh. I like to say that I'm the medium with no filter, so whether or not it's on TV or off, I try to just bring through everything, even the embarrassing, because spirit they'll call out their loved ones on things, or I'll have really funny overprotective grandparents come through and be like, tell my grandson I see him smoking the bong, cut that shit out. They're funny, but they're not actually mad. They just they have a sense of humor. Even in heaven, you can laugh and joke and have that sarcastic, funny side to you, and so they definitely will bring that through. And sometimes will embarrass the person I'm reading, but at the end of the day, at least with the filming part of things, Spirit knows if there is something that would come up that wouldn't be something that they would be okay with, and so then they'll filter themselves so that I don't have to.
Okay. And along the same lines, I know you choose to only connect with positive
Yes.
spirit. That being said, are there well-intentioned spirits that hold a grudge? Or, becoming a spirit, does that automatically enlighten you, or can they pass on bad advice?
How do I phrase this? For the most part, from the work that I've done in thousands of readings and connecting to thousands of spirits, time and time again, what they communicate to me is that when we cross over and we're in heaven or the other side, whatever you want to call it, that we go through a period of life review. And it's like you get to watch back your life, not just through your eyes, but through everybody around you, and you really get a full understanding of kind of everything that you had done here in the physical world and how it affected you and other people and all of that. So you see the bigger picture. So you don't have the same human emotions really that we deal with here in the physical world. You're able to release those feelings of, anger or jealousy or guilt or, very human emotions that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. They've kind of come to terms with all of that, and they can understand it, and they just have a different perspective. I mean, there are times where Spirit will joke like, oh, I don't like the boyfriend that you're dating and things like that. Like, so they may have an opinion that's not always rainbows and butterflies, that's for sure. Okay. But they definitely do see the bigger picture, and it helps them through their own healing and growth.
Well, I know
a lot of things.
Sometimes when you're giving a reading, a grandparent or a parent might be passing on to their child, like, we love and support you continuing school. Yeah. It's not necessarily like you have to go to school. You don't go to school. And if they did say that, one or the other, like, you better stay in school, is it they don't necessarily know better, or they do know better?
Well, the thing is, they see what's going on in our lives. So they do see aspects of our situation or what we're doing in work or this job and this school. Like, they can see parts of the situation that we can't because they see everything, So sometimes they do have advice that maybe you should listen to and you should, take to heart. But at the end of the day, even when they're like, oh, stay in school or do this or that, I always tell my clients, like, look, I'm just communicating what Spirit is having me they want to tell you this, but at the end of the day, you have free will. You can do what you like. And for the most part, Spirit says, look, I just want to give you this advice, but feel free to take it or not. Oh. But yeah, I do think that they can see some stuff that we can't, so you should kind of listen to them. Yeah.
Now, also something that's come up on the show several times is mentioning to someone that you're giving a reading to that, oh, you remember their favorite song comes on the radio and you're thinking of them. That's a sign.
The signs and symbols. Hellos from heaven.
Work. Is the Spirit connecting with the DJ at the radio station? Like,
I love it.
I want to know the mechanics behind it.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. See, the mechanics behind it, that's something that I actually haven't been asked before. It's a great question. I think it's more so being it's more so a situation where, they're not as much controlling the DJ at the station, but allowing you to feel that urge to switch the channel right at that moment when you're thinking of them, and then all of a sudden the next song is that song that you think of.
So maybe more so bringing you to the song.
Exactly.
Rather than the
so
song
it's more of like Spirit manipulating you, kind of finding, like being in that circumstance. Yeah, in a way. So yeah, and it's one of those things, like I said, we have free will, so they can't force us to feel or experience things. But when people are open, I always say you have to find that fine balance between not searching like crazy for it, but also allowing yourself to be open to it, because then, being open to receiving is when they're really going to be working with you to try to have you have moments like that and send you the hellos from heaven, whether it be a dream, a song on the radio, or butterflies, dragonflies, rainbows, whatever it is. Okay. Yeah.
So on the more the business side of things now, when you give a spontaneous reading, do those people that you gave a reading to ever want to follow up and like, oh, now I want an appointment? Or are you like always passing out? Or if you don't have time to do a reading, there's like, you know what? Here's my card.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah. Back in the day when I had the availability to maybe, because right now I don't even take on new clients or schedule new readings because I am just way too booked. But in the past, what I would do is maybe if they didn't have time or I didn't have time, maybe I'd give them my card. But yeah, no, I never. Yeah, usually when I stop to give a spontaneous reading, it on the show it looks like 5 minutes, but
It's much longer.
it's much longer. You usually have at least anywhere between 20 minutes, sometimes even an hour. So it's like they definitely, for the most part, get everything that they are supposed to. And yeah, I haven't really had people to, be like, oh, now can I book with you? Because they
already got
they already got what they needed and they got it for free. So
you don't get addicts. Like, I was wondering, like, can people become addicted to, they want to just give all their money every day, let's keep talking to my loved one. Does that happen?
I mean, there are absolutely people in this world that I've seen that, we kind of joke and say the medium addicts, and I can spot one from a mile away nowadays. I've always been, from the beginning, even though I'm not even taking any clients anymore, but when I did, I've always been the medium that I didn't want to allow any clients to get in a position where they would be like a medium addict. Like, I had a rule, back then where I would not do you had to wait at least 6 months. I would not do more than 2 in a year for a particular client. And there are some mediums who, unfortunately may not be, genuine or doing things for the right reasons, and they might let their client have a Skype reading or in-person reading every week. And I'm like, oh, you shouldn't, that's sad. Because I always tell, my biggest thing is I want to be a messenger for spirit. I want to share my gift, share, that healing and the messages that your loved ones have for you. But at the same time, I don't want people to ever think that you can't connect to your loved ones without a medium. I'm the first one to say you don't need a medium to feel that connection, to know that they're there and trust that they're still with you. Yeah.
And you mentioned Skype. I've also always wondered that, because you mentioned it in the show too. I was like, how does that work?
How does that
the
work?
Mechanics. Because I know you often take hands with a person to strengthen a connection.
Yeah.
So is it harder, more difficult, strained?
No, it works the same way. The only part of the holding the hands is more so I love, like, it does kind of strengthen the energy, but I more so just love that moment with them. It's just it's something that is just very special, and I like to have that kind of experience with my clients. But with Skype, even without holding their hands or being with them in person, it does work the exact same way. Kind of the mechanics behind that is really, I like to use the example, I heard another medium say this years ago, and it always stuck with me. This example of, when you were kids, when you would go out on Halloween trick-or-treating, and you're going from door to door, that you'd only go to the houses with the porch light on because you knew they'd be home and give you candy. And if the lights are off, you're not going to get any candy. So it's basically, for mediums, it's like I'm one of those people that has my porch light on, except instead of coming to me to get candy, Spirit knows they can come to me for me to give a message, So whether it is me communicating over the phone, over Skype, or in person, it's like my light bulb's on. They know that I'm communicating with that loved one of theirs, and they know they can come to me in order for me to deliver a message. And it's all really, at the end of the day, about energy. So I have to raise my energy very, very high. Spirit lowers theirs. We meet somewhere in the middle in order to communicate, and that's it. Yeah, I don't have, it's not like they come to me to communicate, and as opposed to like having to come with the client and meet in person kind of a thing. Because they can be in more than one place at once. They can be with both of us. So. Yeah.
And it seems with season 2, and even more so the interviews I'm seeing, I think you're doing more recently for season 2.
Yeah.
You seem to really have honed that on-off switch,
Yeah.
which didn't seem like even existed first season.
Yeah.
So how did that progress? How does that feel, or how did you hone that?
Yeah. Well, I've definitely gotten a lot better about kind of strengthening my ability to turn it on and off better. I think through the show and after season 1 especially, when being out and about, and I do this every day, all day, and I'm happy when people are like, oh my gosh, like I watch your show, or I love what you do, or but when every person, not even just people who watch a show, but in my own life, friends or old classmates and all these people, when everyone's asking real quick, can you give me that message, it's just I would just go insane. Like, I would never have a break. I would never have any me time. I would never just decompress and have a moment to breathe. And because of it happening more and more, where people were asking me, I had to work with Spirit, yo, I need a break. I'm I'm not just turning off the lights, I'm smashing the light bulb. Please leave me alone sometimes, So it's so they've worked with me better in respecting my boundaries, knowing that I need a break sometimes. But also, the thing about the show is that we film 12-hour days for months on end. So what you end up seeing, because of the fact that this is a show about a medium, is most of the times where I'm giving readings. There are many times where I go into a shop or I go eat lunch and we're filming, where I may keep my lights off and I don't give a reading, but that might not necessarily make it in the show because there's only an hour and they want to show the times where I'm giving readings. So
yeah, I was interested in that too, the actual filmmaking side of it.
Yeah.
So you say you do 12-hour days. How many days a week?
So we usually film anywhere like 4 or 5 days a week, and I say 12 hours, but sometimes it might be 7 hours, sometimes it might be, it varies. For the most part, it'd be about a 10-12 hour day, but
because mediums come under scrutiny and have skeptics, right?
Of course.
But reality shows have skeptics. So you're kind of combining a lot of skepticism and scrutiny.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of want to talk about the filmmaking side so that it's not easily dismissed. Like your show isn't easily dismissed.
Yeah.
So we have the hours. We hear the term scripted reality a lot these days. Can you explain, is there any elements of producers saying, like, how about you plan a party on this day? Or, that kind of thing?
With our show, our producers are great in really allowing us to do what we would be doing just on every other day. I think the most where it would have to be, and it's not scripted, but it would be planned, would be, my family's coming into town this week. Okay, well, we can't just film you guys sitting watching TV all day. What are you going to do? What's the plan for this week? All right, I want to take them paddleboarding. I want to take them to
which is kind of nice.
It's just, so it's just really having a plan. Everybody, in television, that you have to have, like, the places sign off on letting you film and things like that. So you have to have a schedule. But as far as but it's more of like they're following my schedule. What are you doing this week? What do you want to do? And we'll go from there as far as that. And I understood, kind of agreeing to being on the show, that there would be, things like when you walk inside the store and they need to get the angle from the inside and you have to walk back. Yeah, that I was like so uncomfortable at first. I was like, that's awkward. I have to walk in.
Happen.
Yeah, that happens, and I'll be honest about that because I'm very truthful. But but that's the extent. And so once I'm in that store, whatever is happening is happening. And so what I do appreciate with the filming side of it is, no matter the side of like TV where you understand that sometimes they have to get those things, when it comes to the readings, I said when I first signed up to do this show, when it comes to the readings, that it have to be a skeleton crew, so only like the 2 or 3 cameras. We had now, season 2, we have 3 cameras, the audio guy, and that's it. No producers, no production assistants, nothing. I want it to be just the essential people, and then from the moment that I started reading to the moment I finished, there's no one intervening. There's no one cutting in. There's no producer saying, can you say that? Or tell her that her grandma, none of that. There's absolutely no producing of anything when it comes to the readings. And even if a camera battery dies or something happens with a mic, I keep going, and they really respect that, and I appreciate that.
Because I wonder, it's like, is it one camera, and so therefore they're splicing things together not in real time? You know what I mean?
No,
to get those 3 opposite angles, but you have multiple cameras.
We have 3 cameras. Yeah, last season we had 2. This time we have 3, so you can even get more reaction. And it's all happening in that moment. So
that's great to hear, and I think that makes it more difficult for people to dismiss.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that, I know sometimes you've probably had bad experiences and people who are skeptics or just don't want a reading. How would you describe your perfect no thank you? Especially if you have a spirit who's badgering you. Like, no, really, you need to talk to them. And you have someone like Kirsten in season 2 who's like,
Yeah, you're saying when somebody that I've approached.
Say I really didn't want one.
Yeah.
So for people in the future to know,
luckily,
how to say no thank you.
People ask me this question all the time, and believe it or not, people don't believe me when I say this, but I swear to you, Spirit has never brought me to somebody that was not at least open to hearing what I had to share with them. I've had skeptics. I've had people who are like, like, crazy lady, what? Like, definitely might not be all about it, or team medium, that kind of thing. But yeah, I've never, knock on wood, I've never approached anybody, whether it's on TV or off, that's looked at me and been like, yeah, right, and like, spit in my face and said, go away.
Right.
No. So that's made it a lot easier. But I always say, I still ask for people, like, I always ask for permission. Are you comfortable? Is this okay? And I would never, like, even with Kirsten, like, I was feeling a lot of things with her, but I waited until she was comfortable and she gave me that permission.
Right. Well, I could keep asking questions forever. I do have just a few more,
of course.
But I'll try and do them in the wrapping up sense. So what would you just how would you describe the responsibilities of a medium, in your opinion?
I think as far as the genuine gifted mediums go, our responsibility and what we're all striving to do is to share the healing messages from spirit and provide that validation that, we don't just go into nothingness when we die, that there is life after death, our loved ones are still with us, and that mediumship is a beautiful gift, that people can and do have this ability. It's not this creepy, weird, sketchy thing. It's something that's amazing, and I think through having this platform with the show, I've been able to have that gift of being able to open people's eyes really to what this is all about. And I've had people that say, Monica, I was an atheist before watching your show, and now your show has completely changed my whole viewpoint on like everything, the world, and that's pretty incredible to think about how much of an effect it can have on people. It's pretty amazing.
Is that the intention behind the show? Is there an actual intention?
My intention is to share the healing messages and allow people who are going through their own loss and their own grief, if they can relate to something that comes through in a reading, or if a particular message really resonates with them and brings them a lot of comfort and helps them get through the days easier, it's like, I know I did my job. And then on the bigger scale, just allowing people, like I said, to see what this is all about, to see that mediums aren't, these witchy with a crystal ball terminal. Like, I'm just like everybody else. And I think with our show, we're kind of helping to peel away kind of the perception that people have had on mediumship and people like me in the past. And yeah.
That's actually a question I had. See, I'm just going to keep asking questions.
It's all good.
How much do you think what you look like, beautiful, young girl, kind, when you approach people, it probably makes it so much easier. Yeah. What if you were a middle-aged man?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's part of why it's...
Definitely, especially with clients and people that I've given readings to that are of more so our younger generation. I've had time and time again people tell me, Monica, I am so grateful for you to, like, the fact that you're 22 doing this work and sharing your gift, because otherwise I wouldn't have had that opportunity to hear from my mom who just died, or from my brother or whatnot, because I wouldn't have been comfortable to go over to the woman who's like 7 years old in her basement. Like, not to say that she might be perfectly gifted, but there's some people that they really need and appreciate it coming from a peer and somebody who's just
how
like
can
them.
people say no? It's just like every time when you're like, excuse me, hi,
Yeah.
I'm Monica. It's just like everyone's like, yeah, sit down. Like,
exactly.
And then it's like, oh, wait, what?
It's the last thing they expect. Yeah. Like, what?
So what is next? What's coming up for you? What are your goals for your brand or the future?
I always say, whether it's on TV or off, I will be doing this work as a medium till the day I die. I mean, obviously, I love getting to share it on this platform with the show, but you're never guaranteed another season, so I just appreciate every day and the experience that I have, and know that, I'm just enjoying the moment. But I think if whether it's with the show or not, I will still be doing readings. I'm doing a lot more events. Like I said, I have the ones coming up in Massachusetts next month, and then LA with Maureen and James, which will be fun. And I'm going to do a little mini tour of my own later this summer and hit a couple major cities, which will be awesome. And I'm also in the process of writing my first book.
You are?
Which is really exciting. Just getting started with all of that. So,
is there an ETA for that?
I can't say for certain. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, by the fall. I'm really hoping.
Yeah?
But it's definitely in the works, which is a lot of fun.
Gosh, I could go on forever.
I could talk to you forever. You're great energy. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
You're fun to talk to.
We're going to keep talking off camera, but she might have other interviews to go to. So I will wrap it up.
Thank you
Monica
so much.
Tenkate from Monica the Medium on Freeform, Mondays
9
Central.
Yes.
And I'm Carenza Laguerre. That's my entertainment. What's yours?